This exercise is a pelvic clock. So we're going to be using a Physio ball, sitting on the ball, good posture. So we'll be focusing on a bunch of different motions of the pelvis. We're going to start with anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. We're going to work in a lateral shift and then kind of working different angles of that clock. So feet shoulder width, starting with the anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So basically, as if you're sitting on a clock, right? 12 o'clock in front of you, 6 o'clock then back of you, 3 o'clock to your right, 9 o'clock to your left, all right? So for the anterior and posterior pelvic tilt, you're gonna be going 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, basically just tucking the pelvis in, going into that anterior tilt, so posterior tilt, anterior tilt, basically aiming at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So as you go into that posterior tilt, your pelvis is going to be aiming at 12 o'clock. As you go into the anterior tilt, aiming at 6 o'clock. From there, we're going to go into a lateral shift. So this is going to be going 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So all you're going to be doing is rotating the pelvis to the right, to the left. All right, very small range of motion. You're not getting too much side bending going on from the torso. So it's just coming from your pelvis. So there's 9 o'clock, there's 3 o'clock. Get comfortable with those motions first. And then once that anterior and posterior and that lateral shift side to side get a little more comfortable, you can start to add in a little more of the diagonal movements. So 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and so on. So that 1 o'clock is going to be a posterior tilt with a little bit of a lateral shift, back to neutral, and then 2 o'clock is going to be a posterior shift with a lateral shift as well, but a little bit more of the 2 o'clock angle, and you're working all around that clock. Nice slow controlled motion, take your time, really feel where your pelvis is. This is a great exercise for working on core stability, working on proprioception, and just feeling where your pelvis is in space. And that is a pelvic clock.